Ellen White's Visions and Dreams 2. While at Battle Creek in August 1868, Ellen had a dream. She was with a large group of people. Some of these started out on a journey. They had heavily loaded wagons. As they went, the road went upward. On one side of this road was a steep cliff. On the other was a high, smooth, white wall like plaster. As they went on, the road grew narrower and steeper. In some places it seemed so very narrow that they could no longer travel with the loaded wagons. They left them behind and took some luggage and put it on the horses and journeyed on horseback. But the path got more narrow. They had to press close to the wall to save from falling off the narrow road down the steep cliff. Now the bundles on the horses pressed on the wall and pushed them towards the cliff. They feared to fall and be dashed in pieces on the rocks, so they cut the luggage from the horses, and it fell over the cliff. They now went on horseback, afraid as they came to the narrower places in the road to lose their balance and fall. At such times a hand seemed to take the bridle and guide over the risky way. But the path grew narrower. They could no longer go with safety on horseback, and left the horses and went on foot in single file, one following in the footsteps of another. Now small cords were let down from the top of the pure white wall. These they gladly grasped to help keep their balance on the path. The cords moved along with them. Still the path got more narrow, and they thought they could travel more safely without shoes, so they took them off. Soon it was decided that they could travel more safely without stockings. These were removed, and they went on with bare feet. They then thought of those who were not used to hardships. Where were they now? They were not in the company. At every change some were left behind, and those only kept going who learned to endure hardships. The difficult way only made these more eager to press on to the end. The danger of falling off increased. They pressed close to the white wall, yet there wasn't room to put their feet fully on the path, for it was too narrow. Now they began to put nearly their whole weight on the cords, saying, "We have hold from above. We have hold from above." They all said this. They could hear noises from the bottom of the steep cliff, laughing and worldly music, bad words and dirty jokes, war songs and dance songs, and cursing, cries, wails, and loud laughter. They were so anxious to stay on that narrow path. Now they depended more on the cords, which grew as they went on. Ellen saw the beautiful white wall was stained with blood. She felt sad to see it, but then felt it was all as it should be. Those who are following after will know that others have passed the narrow, difficult way before them, and that they can do the same. As the blood shall be pressed from their aching feet, they will not faint and give up. But seeing the blood upon the wall, they will know that others have endured the same pain. Finally the path ended at a drop-off. There was no path for their feet at all, but by now they were mostly hanging to the cords, which had grown to be almost as big as their bodies. For a while they were afraid. "What is holding the cords?" they asked. They were having a hard struggle. If they failed now, all the hard journey would be for nothing. On the other side of the chasm was a beautiful field of green grass about 6 inches high. Bright, soft beams of light, resembling fine gold and silver, were resting upon this field. Nothing upon earth was like it in beauty and glory. But could they reach it? What if the cord would break? In whispers the words were breathed. "What holds the cord?" For a moment they hesitated, then said, "Our only hope is to trust wholly to the cord. It has been our help all the difficult way. It will not fail us now." Still we hesitated, then the words were said, "God holds the cord. We need not fear." These words were then repeated by those behind. "He will not fail us now. He has brought us thus far in safety." They then swung over safely one by one to the lovely field. They heard voices praising God. Ellen was happy, perfectly happy. She said she would never forget this wonderful dream.